stage. What happened here? How do I fix this? Hello? Oh, am I there? Am I there? Can you guys hear me? And I had it unmuted, but evidently I disconnected the cord. Okay, sweet. All right, cool. All right, sorry about that. You know what's funny is right at the beginning of this stream, I was like, hey guys, and I got the audio working this time. But I did not. I did not have the audio working this time. That's the funny part. I evidently disconnected the cord. I'll have to fix that. All right, I apologize. ASMR stream today. You know, I heard that Asmara something. I don't even know which one it is. I don't follow the stuff my kid does. But they got canceled recently and blocked so off of YouTube. So who knows, man? Maybe ASMR doesn't work anymore either. Anyway, I digress. Disease Kodak was saying, James is saying that M2 money supply is getting ready to blow up. I believe it. I'm actually, while I'm talking here, I'm going to try and correct this so my cord doesn't break again. There we go. I believe it. It's depending upon the metrics that you're looking at, especially if you're looking at the stuff Michael Howell presents, who I followed the most. It already has. So it's a good day today, though. I think yesterday, before we jump into some of this stuff, I'm just going to jump back over. So yesterday, I was talking, and I think I did a couple of posts in the morning, and then I disappeared. But essentially, I was talking about how Bitcoin was going to start bouncing. I said that at 55.2. We're sitting at 57.3. This morning, I said that Tesla would start bouncing. We're sitting around 214. We're sitting at about 219 right now. So both of these are playing out correctly so far, and I think that's going to continue throughout the day. Don't have a lot on the economic calendar today. If we look over here, we've got the NFIB Business Optimism Index. Let me just zoom down here. So we got a 91.2. That was lower than forecast and lower than consensus. So business optimism starting to roll over. Don't totally love that. But again, the trend has been bouncing higher, but we need to see that continue up. We also have a little bit later here at 7:55, we're going to have the Red Book year over year coming out. Outside of that, though, super light day in regard to economic data. If you look down here, tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow we get a bunch of mortgage-related information. Probably won't see too much change in that really until rates start coming down here, which is going to happen starting next week, which is kind of crazy to think of. But, or even this week. Is it this week? Fed rate decision. Fed rate decision. Let's look. Time's been going so quickly for me. Nope, not this week. So so next week we should see the mortgage data really start to change as the Fed rate gets modified lower. I still think it's going to be 25 bips, but let's just take a look over here at the CME Fed Watch tool and see what it has to say. And if you guys have any news-related events, things we should be covering, charts you want me looking at for the morning show here, throw them out there because some days are going to be lighter than others. This morning's a little light since I wasn't kind of caught up with everything yesterday. So any input you guys have, throw it out. GME, interesting earnings coming. I am so not a GME person, Pab. I'm so not. I don't love the whole meme stock thing. I had somebody accuse Tesla of being a meme stock. I just wanted to punch him through my screen. Just a couple other days ago when I was looking at an X post, I was just, it's just frustrating. But yeah, I don't love the meme stocks. I like what Roaring Kitty was trying to represent, which is that the system was really broken and it was controlled by companies like Citadel and that were buddies with hedge funds. I love all that, man. But it's just a shitty company. If you're going to do something like that, promote real businesses that are going to do well. Don't grab like a dying company that in an area where nobody gives a shit about physical media anymore, like gaming. Yeah, $3 billion in cash. Yeah, that's a thing. But again, I think they bought a gold mining company. I don't know. But here's the deal. Like, I care about real companies that have real earnings, and that build real products that are going to do better in the future. That's my area of focus. You're going to find out real quickly with me, Pab. I'm not the guy who's like, oh, hey, to the moon, let's jump on this thing. No, I want things like Bitcoin. I'm kind of a hypocrite. I'm going to correct myself here. I do have some of that with long-term holds that I have for shit coins, but that's because I know the timing really well. And I don't have to keep up with it. I don't want to keep up with GME, so I operate a little bit differently there. Interestingly, jumping back over here, the Fed Watch tool actually only shows one rate cut with a 73% probability, and then two at 27. So that's changed a lot. So I think we're pretty much locked in for the one that I've been talking about for a while now. I think that's what you guys could expect. Let's see what else we got here. Jesse, looking at CRSP January 2026 calls. Technicals beaten down. Number 3 holding on ARKG. Possible asymmetric returns. See, we could look at that, and we will in a second here. Lowest 94, but I personally would just rather have ARKG. It's already an asymmetric bet if you look at the options for it. I made a video about this a long time ago, and then you don't have single point of failure risk with one company. Now, who knows? You could be right. Maybe CRISPR is like the one to go with, and it's just going to kick ass. Good morning or good evening, Dylan. How are you? How are you, sir? But yeah, so I think we're pretty much guaranteed that we're going to be getting the one cut. I think that's what's going to end up happening. We'll see. All right, I want to jump over here in stocks and just refresh over here with the Fear and Greed Index on CNBC. It's in fear territory at 43. I'm kind of surprised by that. I haven't looked at it in a few days, but I like what I'm seeing. Fear is a great place to be, especially when I think I made over $100,000 back yesterday, and today looks like a decent update too with very little technicals to disrupt that. So, and then again, and so right now it looks like 43 for the stocks and then 33 for crypto in regard to fear and greed. I'm going to skip commodities for now, I think, and then let's just look. I know I'm going to pull over here into the chat. If you guys have charts that you want me to look at, I might just jump into those right away this morning. In fact, I think I'm going to. I'm going to jump over. We're going to look at the stock. We're going to look at pre-market. So I'm going to update this real quick here to do pre-market change percentage since the market does not open up for a little bit. And we can see NVIDIA bouncing, Amazon bouncing, Microsoft bouncing, Tesla doing the most. But really a green market all in all. Let's look at the crypto. Crypto, we got Bitcoin up 0.54%, really kind of docile right now, but a lot of its bounce was yesterday. So, I mean, this isn't super crazy to see right now, guys. I think this is pretty much normal. And let's just jump over. I want to look at, we're going to skip indices for now. And I want to jump over and see how the dollar's doing today. So again, we kind of painted this before. The dollar is bouncing on this previous support line that's drawn off of our previous resistance line, right? And but I do think it's going to roll over, and I think it's setting up for exactly what I talked about, where we go up and then we make another attempt to try and break under the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame. I think there's a lot of reasons why the dollar is going to have downside pressure. So we'll see if it happens. Again, this stuff can play out over months and months and months, though. So don't expect it to happen right away. Gold. How are we sitting on gold this morning? Gold is up 0.13%, sitting at, this is such a boring investment, sitting at 31% over 13 years. Oil. Oil is looking good here. Again, no bounce whatsoever and down about 1% on the day, hovering around $68. Depending upon how you draw this line, I think actually I might want to do this differently. Let me just... I want to do this where we're really seeing, no, that's not a good one either. That's not good. I think the other way is probably closer. So let's do it. Let's draw oil from here. But one thing I might do is just get a little closer to the full body candles. So this is what I want to see. I want to see this break down. If you look here, outside of this one slightly lower wick, we're right in line with what has been the support zone here, little bit of here, and then right now here. So we want to see this break down in order for oil prices to get lower. I think if Trump does really well in the debate tonight, with his energy policy of a 50% reduction in energy within his first year, 50% plus, I could see this dropping hard. Was Mara halted or something, waiting for news? I heard this last night. The only thing I saw is that they have a name change. I don't know if it was halted. Again, I was kind of out of commission yesterday, but we can look at that. Let's quickly hop over to that, and then we'll jump back over with the rest here and just see if there's any news. But yeah, I know there was a name change. Mara trading halted pending corporate action, aka news is dropping. We're all ears. Corporate changed its corporate name. Exciting. That's super exciting. They got a name change. Watch out. The world is changing before our eyes. Yeah, that doesn't seem too exciting. Hope all is well with your family. Yeah, it's going well, man. It's all good in the hood. Let's see here. Main stage news: strong volatility starting tonight with a debate. Oh gosh, man, it's gonna either volatility or upside. I mean, it's gonna be one or the other. It's going up or down, that's for sure. I think the debate, or it could be boring and really there's no news, and the debate kind of ends how people expect it to. All the polling data I'm seeing shows that people expect Kamala to win. Polling Polymarket, I think, had it 60-40. I actually like that. I like expectations being strong for her to do well, because I don't know that's the way it's going to go down. But I am nervous. I think it can go either way. I think it can go either way because if Kamala gets under Trump's skin, Trump doesn't do very well when people get under his skin. He gets defensive. But on that same note, if Trump sticks to policy and everything else, he could destroy Kamala. So it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Tomorrow with the yeah, with inflation data, and there's a lot going on. And then next week we're gonna have the Fed funds rate. It's gonna be crazy. We've got the next 7 weeks, guys, between now and the election are going to be pretty wild, I think, in markets. And I think, yeah, it's just going to be strange. We've got so much going on. There's so many concerns and worries, and potential positives, and just a lot going on. It's definitely something where we're going to have to stay on top of it. Logan, what is the point of the name change? I don't know. It's probably something technical. It looks like it doesn't matter. And that's for Mara, for people that were wondering. Disease Kodak, can you look at Sol when you get a chance? Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that here in a little bit. For now, though, let's just run through the big stuff. And let's jump over to bonds. So oil looks like it's going to break down. And I think, again, if Trump does good in the debate, I think oil starts to plummet. We're seeing on the MOVE index, we're seeing a continued fall. Again, people say technicals don't work, guys. I just want to point out that this downward line has been here for a while. And again, this is my projection, and I should probably, like, I don't know, move it kind of like that. That's probably closer to reflection of reality. But I haven't changed this. So you can see where support is. You can see where resistance is very strong. Now, could this break out? One might think that, but I actually do not believe it because if you jump out here, this is on the monthly time frame. We are at high levels. Like these were very high, outside of the norm levels, outside of a great financial crisis like 2008. So with the levels we're trading in, and again, you can see that the dot-com bubble too, roughly kind of higher levels in the bond volatility index when it was first created, somewhat after the dot-com bubble, and then again back here in 2008. But outside of a huge wick that we had for the pandemic, we're at high levels, and our trend should be just like this after the great financial crisis, just like this after the dot-com bubble, and just like this after the March 2020 pandemic. So this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting bond volatility to go down, and if that ends up being true, stock markets usually do really well. Let's look at the VIX today too. I gotta update some of my play buttons here and make this easier to do. And yeah, so VIX, look at this. So again, the volatility index 2008, big spike, right? The dot-com bubble, big spike kind of. Over here in 2002, I don't even know what the VIX was. I don't remember why that spiked up. There's always these little ones. But again, you can see March of 2020 had a big, strong one, came back down. And now we had the highest impulse up and VIX crush we've ever seen in history. And I said, I think it was earlier this week or into last, like I can see how there's a little bit of volatility towards the upside again in the VIX, which means the markets can go down just from oscillation from this huge impulse. But outside of that, I don't think it's going to last, guys. Now let's look at the 2-year bond. 2-year bond, just like I said it was going to do. I hate being so right because I feel like it just makes me too cocky, and that's not good for me or anybody. But again, we can see this tearing underneath. Now we are in a support zone. If you're looking at the weekly time frame here, we've seen the RSI come down dramatically from where it was on the weekly at 94 record levels. I think actually if we go over here, let me see. I'll do this. If we go over at 94 though, here's what I want to show you guys. This is important to see. That 94 was unprecedented. So a naive eye would look at this and say, well, the RSI is already in oversold territory on the weekly. We're obviously going up. But I would say that's not the case because this impulse higher to the levels that we reached was one that we've never really seen in the history of the 2 year before, the 2 year bond. So to me, we're still going down. We're still trying to test under 3%. And I think in relatively short order, I think like a couple of quarters, that we'll see that. And so again, this will be good. There'll be people that lock in with these 2 year bonds, don't necessarily jump into stocks. But I would argue that that with rates coming down here next week and getting a 25 bip cut at least, we're going to see more and more people going, shit, rates. I either lock in my rates, which I've been getting good rates for the last couple of years if I've been in bonds and treasuries, or I say, fuck that. And I start getting into stocks right now thinking that the stock market is going to do good. And especially if like Trump gets elected, I think the stock market, I think a lot of people that invest are going to be like, oh yeah, we've got Elon and Vivek cleaning up the government. Especially, there's a distinctive chance, and you guys will see this if you look at the political videos I make, and I'm going to work on making the election and polling stuff, the data right at the front, so people don't have to listen to me drone on my political views throughout. But in those videos, which get demonetized all the time, you'll see that in polling-related data, it looks like Republicans could take the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And in the latest New York Times data, New York Times, guys, this is a big deal. New York Times, no joke, very left-leaning in the city of New York. Lots of pressure to be biased towards Kamala, like a lot of the polls are. But they have a 1% popular vote lead for Donald Trump. That is unheard of. Unheard of. That's better than Trump has done in any of his elections. So if he gets the popular vote, this one is pretty much over. But very interesting stuff coming out here on the political front with the debate tonight, in regard to the Fed next week, in regard to Fed related data coming in here this week, economic data coming in. It's going to be a crazy time, guys. It's going to be one to watch. All right, let's look at the inversion. How's our inversion doing? The 2-10-year. We are uninverted. We've uninverted. There is no inversion. Are we going to shoot up a lot? I don't know. We could. It just depends on how. I think it's going to meander. I think it'll meander around this level. Personally, I think we hit resistance like up around here, and then we meander. These percentages look really huge because you're like near zero. So every percent that it moves is it's a lot. It shows us a lot, right? So ignore the percentages up here. But we're uninverted right now. Should probably turn this into support. And we could find support at this level, but I don't know that we just start rip-roaring up. Now, history tells us, but again, this is different. Recent history, I should say. If we look back at the dot-com bubble, if we look back at the 2008 great financial crisis, and actually you could see this thing uninvert before that, before the markets really started to roll over. So it's going to be very interesting. There's some economic data that Seth Golden, my buddy, was talking about too. He lives in Jersey. Cool dude. On why this time is different. I'll probably talk about that in this afternoon's market recap. But again, if we look here, we can see that this uninverted well before the market started to really tank in 2008. Now, what do I think is going to happen this time? I actually think we're going to melt up. And if you look over here, you can see where we've had uninversions before, even back in the 80s, right? We had an uninversion over here. But this didn't cause a market collapse. In fact, the markets did just fine. They did really well. So I think there's times here. And again, we had an inversion. It was a very short one in 98, but we actually did great for years, for the next several years before we went inverted and then started to come back up again. But there's history here that I think people ignore about this inversion curve. And again, even the person who created this is very conflicted about it. I think people need to look at that more. Let me look at chat here again. Stefan said, hey, Jesse, you know what would be cool? A video about RSI, fib, and timeframes. I did do something like that. It's called, it says Trading View, but I'll probably try and do more too, that kind of talk through it, maybe use a particular stock as an example. And I do try and talk about some of this too when I'm going over tickers. If you guys ever have questions about like the technicals I'm looking at or anything on the screen, something you think you're seeing that I'm not seeing, throw it out there. I'm happy to talk about it. We could do real-time learning too. USD versus Japanese yen. So the USD is starting to weaken a little bit more against the Japanese yen. This is great because, again, when it strengthens, when the USD strengthens over here and we see this getting higher and higher and higher versus the yen, that sucks because it means the carry trade's unwinding. So this is good, actually. This is going to keep them happy. We want the Japanese carry trade to not unwind. And again, there's swap lines available, so I think our government has done a good job of ensuring that this wouldn't happen. And I said that a while ago too, when we were starting to see all the worries about the Japanese carry trade. I said, guys, the government, it has tools in their war chest. They're going to use them. This isn't the end of the world. This is a buy the dip, and that's exactly what I did. And I hope people came along with me. Dustin P11, morning Jesse, Shelly, thank you for joining. Morning Dustin, Silas, hello, what's up, dude? Andres, just wait after the debate. Yeah, no shit. Silas, circa 2006 Democrats became a party of big business. Yeah, I listened. There's if you guys haven't seen the All In podcast, yesterday they're at their summit. And they had Elon on there. That was great. But he said a lot of the same things we already know. But he had J.D. Vance on there. And I thought J.D. Vance was incredibly insightful, had great answers. And even Jason Friedberg looked like he had a crush on J.D. Vance, which is wild because, again, he's pretty liberal. But Jason is the most liberal of the bunch, right? Like, I'll say this. I think Jason can be absurdly liberal. And by that, I mean he'll actually forego logic sometimes because of his bias towards his political party. But yesterday at the end of it, even Jason said, your answers were great. They were wonderful. And I have some issues with your boss, but like you're amazing. Which is wonderful to see, right? Like even somebody like Jason starting to maybe get on, I won't say get on the Trump train, but at least understanding that there's nuance between J.D. Vance and Trump. Trump is going to be the flamboyant one that's going to really just throw it all out there and just get it in your face. And J.D. Vance is going to be the one with the nuance that says, yeah, we are going to deport migrants. We're going to do this one bite at a time. We're going to get rid of the really dangerous illegal people. And then we'll work our way from there, and we'll do things that give them an incentive to cross back over the border into their own area. So I think there's a lot of things that you could do, and he spoke specifically to all of them, and it was just brilliant, guys. It was really brilliant. All right, let's look here. I'm going to jump through the CNY while reading chat here. But yeah, I agree, Silas. Circa 2006, Democrats became the party of big business. He was kind of talking to that. That was my point with it, too. He was talking about how we've seen a massive shift in donations from the rich. They were going to Republicans for a long time, decades ago, and now that shifted to where over 70% of the money donated is for Democrats, and so that Republicans are at a disadvantage. And but here's the deal: that a lot of the reasoning for that is Democrats are the party of war now. And they're the party of big business. And I think both of those things are true. They really are. It's so weird. When I was younger, anybody who's older here, in their 40s or something like that, you will know that when we were younger, Russia bad, Republicans patriotic, Republicans pro-war, Democrats the party of peace and love and not having governmental controls. And it was just, we've seen such a massive shift in this dialogue, and now the Democrats are the party of control. They're the party of censorship. They're the party of big government. They're the party of, it's just really weird how much of a shift has occurred in, like, I would say the last 20 plus years. It's just such a different world, and it's weird watching these parties shift back and forth on what their beliefs are and who they support and what they think. Anyway, the Bush years were torturous with the wars, especially Iraq. Yeah, at the time I was very patriotic for the war in Iraq, and again when when George Bush Jr. again went back in there again, and I very much believed all of that shit. But the problem is later on we found out we were just looking for war, and that big war loves that, right? Like they love building shit that we don't need for our military, and they love having wars where they can sell a bunch of goods. I don't think that's good for America. I don't think it's good for the world. I think that's been proven on multiple levels. I don't think you can argue that Afghanistan and Iraq are safer than they were. And again, just that's happened on multiple fronts all around the world. Those are just two examples, but there's a lot of countries where we've went in there and done our part, and I don't know that it's helped. And then the best thing we did with Vietnam was leave. So since World War II, I don't really understand a lot of what our military focus is anymore. I think it's more about business than making the world a better place, and I think we need to fix that. Anyway, off the politics stuff. Akash, 2000, Bank of Japan doing its usual contradictory trial balloons. Bank of Japan officials see little need to raise the benchmark rate when board members gather next week, according to people familiar with. Yeah, I think they really, again, that first move was just to get the United States to get them swap lines to where they had liquidity. That's my take. So I think you're right. I think that headline's going to be right. BBG, Bank of Japan looking at faster rate hikes, source says. Market news. Interesting. Sealess, thanks, Jesse. I'll try to find that podcast. It's so good, dude. Check it out. It's JD Vance. If you look at All in One Podcast, I just retweeted it today, so look on X. It's right there near the top. Sealess, yes, lobbied against the impending Iraq II invasion in the summer of 2002 on Capitol Hill, D.C. Good for you, man. Marty Cohen, morning, Jesse. Hey, what's up, dude? All right, so yeah, looking at the won here, we're seeing the won starting to gain some strength, starting to get kind of back in what I believe, because again, China is doing bad. I always say that I need to make a video about it, and I really believe I do. Actually, I should probably draw this out better. They're usually not this steep anyway. I should do something like this. I don't know that we fully... This is probably the ascending triangle that we're looking at right here. So we have the ability to drop down even more and then bounce off of this. But I think eventually the won gets crushed. Now it could take months, years. I think probably not years, maybe a year and a half or something. But I think it's going to get crushed against the dollar. I think that's the path we're headed down. Can you check spot? Yes, I will. All right, but let's get through the rest of this macro stuff real quick. Put call ratio. Are people hedging a lot? Oh, they're not hedging anymore, guys. Isn't it funny how when they start to really hedge, that's like the time to start buying? It's so funny. Anyway, dropping back down here. I think that continues. Let's look at Bitcoin this morning. How's our Bitcoins doing? Let's look at the big stuff. 57,225. That's a nice, decent little bounce. Again, I love that we didn't even touch the 50 moving average on the weekly over here. But you can see where, again, we had kind of hit the bottom over here where the 50 had dropped underneath, and then we started breaking higher. We got above the 200. We got above the 100. We got above all moving averages, and then just launched like a rocket ship. One of the most powerful launches we've really seen since the 2020s, late 2020s, summer of 2020, where we just didn't look back at the moving averages for a long time. I do think this will be significantly different, though, because we didn't have the level of launch that we had back here. If you look, we went from, the 3,000s, the 3,800, 3,900 range, all the way up to 62,000 in very short order. Massive gains in a short order. But if you look over here, this one, the slope is a lot more gradual. And again, we had a really big launch. We had a really big launch probably starting about October 2023 going into March of 2024. So there was a good 6-month period where it was just beautiful. But we've traded sideways so much that I think this is just going to be a very different time. I think this is our area of support right here. Could we drop underneath of it for a minute? Sure, but I don't think we're going to. I think Bitcoin's going up, especially if Trump wins. That's my take. MicroStrategy, CNY becoming a junk currency way faster than the USD. It's definitely, people love to talk about BRICS, man. That shit don't matter. Now, I did want to say, I've said this for a while. This has been my thesis, and I think it's right, that MicroStrategy is a first mover. It's up 9.2% yesterday, kind of like a decent amount of the miners, like performing as well as some of the other miners, which again, this is a lesser multiplier, but I've said many times, I believe this one is a first mover. I believe that this one can get up to 520 or something this cycle, which would be crazy. That's almost a 4x from where we are right now. It's a good number. And who knows? It could do a leap in here and get into the 700s too. A lot of these could go. Historically, you can see a lot of Bitcoin-related investments break above the .618 for a period of time before they drop lower. So maybe we see a 5x out of this thing. It could get crazy. There are over 170 viewers and only a third of the likes. Yeah, Marty, you're right. Guys, what the fuck? You want me to stop right here and just stare at the screen until you hit the like button? Do it. Please. Please. All right, let's look at Mara. Mara, 9.35%. So again, one of the bigger miners. I said last week, I think it was, and I need to redraw this. It doesn't. Well, no, this is the monthly. But I said, hey, we're going to find some support on these moving averages. You could see this downward trend line as a support area. We launched 9.35% yesterday, and again up 1% in pre-market today. And again, if you look over here, you can see how there's the 100 moving average we bounced off of on the weekly time frame. So this is looking good. It's looking real good. I think Bitcoin is really ready to rock. You got to remember, people want this thing to go lower, but when Mara has already dropped 62% from its recent high, it's probably done, guys. Probably done. CleanSpark. CleanSpark, I think, had a good day yesterday, too. Yeah, up 9.15%, about the same. Again, this thing dropped 67%. I can tell you this. I didn't look at the calls. I should actually do that. I should look at my calls from yesterday and see how well I did. I didn't look at anything yesterday. But I'm imagining they're starting to look a lot better with a 10% move in less than 24 hours to the upside. So, and I think it could get real stupid. Again, I think CleanSpark can go up 276% in short order, like maybe between now and the end of the year. I know that sounds crazy, but if that happens, off of CleanSpark alone, I believe I've made $1 million. So, yeah, anybody who was making fun of me for buying miners over here, I know there were a few assholes out there. I will rub that shit in. You can be right for a minute. I'll be right for a lifetime. So you guys fuck off. You guys suck a dick. Can I say that? Probably shouldn't say that. All right, anyway, keep going. Cypher. I got to change this to Bitfarm. Oh, and I didn't post this yesterday. So anybody who was a part of my mining video from this last weekend. Oh, and good news. I'm talking to Alejandro from Visual Stocks. He said we should meet this week to talk about all the enhancements and changes I want to make. I don't know if I'll have it all ready for this weekend's mining recap on Sunday, but we're going to get some cool charts. I think we're going to get some cool charts, cool setup stuff, clean up the data. Just really, I'm talking about the monthly too, seeing if we can get some of that stuff set up. I think we can make it, and I think this is something that could be accessible to you guys in the Visual Stocks too, for you that have already signed up. So I won't get anything out of this unless he's being very kind and decides to do something for me. But again, I benefit just alone by having really good tools that make my life easier. And he benefits because I think I've had a lot of people that have been sent to him with no referral, but he's done really well, I think, too, from all of that. So we're going to keep having our symbiotic relationship at the very least and try and help each other out. And I think that's going to be huge. Lowe's 94, Jesse, how do you determine which low you draw your trend fibs for price targets? I look for majors, right? Like right here, I don't have an opportunity for Cypher. Oh, and I've got to finish my thought. Before I jump into that, I will answer your question real quick. So I did sell out in this last Bitcoin mining video just a few days ago. I did sell out of most of my Cypher, 90% of it, and I bought Bitfarms instead. So I did go ahead and make that move, guys, just because you guys talked me into it. Again, I'm going to be really into the miners now, at least for a while, running these weekly meetings and trying to, again, keep everybody up to date with news. But I wasn't for a while. So you guys talked me into it. Real quick. It just looks so much better in every possible way. I didn't get that posted on X, though, so I did want you guys to know about it. So yeah, how do I draw the fibs? Well, here is just a fib retracement because I don't have enough of a time frame to really do anything about it. But if we go back over to CleanSpark here, I look for major moves. And I do that. You can see it. It's kind of an art form. But as you can see, I went from the major low, because Bitcoin's got very clear cycles, right? So I went from the major low of the last cycle, and I started my trend-based fib extension there. I drew it all the way up to the peak of the last cycle. Then I drew it down to the low of this cycle, right? So you do it like that. You're looking for the major moves. March of 2020 is a great place to start on most stocks, by the way, because it was a major low, right? The pandemic was a major low. So that's a great way to look at it with most stocks. And then if it doesn't look right, bring it up in one of the market recaps, and I can tell you where I would draw it. But you could see that the fib is very much respected here. Look at this weirdness we had around the .618. We just couldn't get above it and kept grinding near it, and then eventually just got rejected. And the longer it gets to the point where it's like, okay, oh, hey, this is positive. We're probably going to break higher. It's just not doing it. Oh, we're testing the low hard. Oh, we broke under the 200. It's pretty much over at that point if you don't bounce up very quickly. And then we broke down a lot, and then it just rolls over. So things that can look like they're bullish setups can change quickly to bearish ones. So it's just really important to look at all of it. And honestly, if I would have looked at this more clearly, I should have drawn this. And you guys call me out too whenever I'm wrong about this stuff. I really should have drawn this like this. If you look at it, this is kind of like a descending triangle, albeit a slow one. It's just not a good looking pattern. And if I was smart, I would have caught that earlier. It's just sometimes, again, these are just probabilities, guys. They're not always accurate. Things change. You just got to remember all of that. Technical wise, BITF or Cypher? It's totally BITF. BITF has a lower market cap than Cypher. They have much better revenues. I think 80% higher revenues than Cypher. They're better in like so many ways. They're like, check them out. And again, or check out this weekend's minor recap or minor comparison, I think I have it called. And we can go over it, and you can ask questions about it, and we'll look at it. Sealess, Huawei launches their trifold phone, unappealing. Every time I unfold it, causes excessive material fatigue. Yikes. I believe that. It's really hard to have a foldable phone. I've got one right here. I got like a Pixel something, fold something. I don't know. I hate it because it's not the standard screen size, and so Google's had to do a hack to try and get it to where it works. Before that, I had the Samsung Fold or whatever. That was actually pretty good. I kind of wish I would have stuck with it. But it's hard to make a foldable phone. It really is. All right, so let's see. So we did CleanSpark. We did all this other stuff. Let's look at Tesla. And if you guys have any other charts you want to look at too, I know a few have been called out. Tesla's looking solid today, guys. I called this 100. I just showed you this a little bit ago. I actually think our measured move here is going to bring us towards the 300s, at the very least 299. That's where we'll have our really strong level of resistance, I think, because we'll have filled all of our gaps. All of our daily gaps will be filled. There's one over here. There's one over here. Once we do that, then it's like, oh, okay, the magnet to the upside will be gone. We do have one gap down here. I don't think we'll ever hit it in the lifetime of Tesla. And that's what happens, guys. They say 90% of gaps fill, and that's true. And the ones that don't fill, unless it's just a complete shit company that's going bankrupt, are the ones that are low. Right? Like, doesn't that make sense? You leave one behind, and then you just keep going up forever. And a company like Tesla is a keep going up forever kind of company, so I don't think we'll ever see that. I think it's straight up. Check PLNH chart, please. I will do that in a second. Oh, this is great, Jesse. Now I don't have to watch Meet Kevin's Market Open. Yeah, I like Meet Kevin, man, but he's just a little weird sometimes. Also, let me go back to economic data real quick, because I do believe we had one other economic data with retail sales. Redbook year over year, 6.5%, higher than the 6.3% of the previous. And this is a retail sales number, and I think it's of the top 7,000. Let me see here. It's a survey. The Johnson Redbook Index is a sales-weighted of year-over-year same-store sales growth in sample of large U.S. merchandise retailers representing 9,000 stores. So it says by dollar value, the index represents 80% of the equivalent of retail. So this is big to medium retail, right? It's a survey, but what it's saying is that we've been trending higher since July of 2023, and I like that. I like the fact that retail is still doing all right. I don't hate it at all. And I'm glad that you want to come here instead of hanging with me, Kevin. I really appreciate that. Lol, so true. Kenny Brown. Oh, Lowe's agrees. Jeff L. Palantir, please. Yes, you know what? We should do that one right now. Yeah. So again, I think Tesla looks great. Let's look at Palantir. Their S&P inclusion was sick. I know they've got more deals too. There's just so much going on, and there's a little bit of Palantir news, I think, even this morning too. So I don't know. I think we had a new price target set for $50 by Bank of America. Now, normally I would say this, and again, I've been saying this for a long time and I've been wrong. This thing's doubled since I was kind of telling people, hey, I sold out over here of my options and I made 600 grand. So I have no complaints whatsoever. I made so much more because if you look where I sold out, if you look at where I sold out, guys, I sold out right around here, right? This thing was up 174% from the low. But when I told people to get in, the low was right over here. This is where I got in. So I made $600,000 off of a 122% move. So I have no regrets on Palantir. Some people give me shit about it. And if you do that, I will block you. I don't like assholes. I really don't. But again, I have no regrets with Palantir whatsoever. I've done a great job with my money. And if you look over here, 17 to 34, it's just doubled since. Now, would I have liked that double? Yeah, but would have options been a good thing to hold throughout this time frame from June of 2023 until August of 2024? No, you would have been wiped out. It would have been horrible. Now, I will say this. We can go up 30%. I've been saying this for a while. We can go up 30% from here before we hit the all-time high. I do think a rejection is coming eventually, though, unless they can just keep bringing in good news, unless they continue to have like great contractual news and everything else. And if that happens, wonderful. But here's what I want you to keep in mind on Palantir. And I need to add the MACD here real quick. I should do that. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to go to indicators. I'm going to go to moving average convergence divergence. That's a tongue twister. And so here's what I want to show you. Here's my worry is that we're at some of the highest levels we're looking at here on the MACD for a rollover that we've seen in a while. We still have bearish divergence on the MACD that started in the RSI that started in May of 2023. And this company has done phenomenally well. And don't get me wrong, maybe we go to the all-time high. I've been saying that for a while. That is a 650% increase from the bottom. Every Palantir owner will be stupid happy with all of that. But personally, I think the more likely scenario isn't just this measured move to 130. Maybe it is. If markets do really well, maybe it is. But I could see something where maybe it tries to go up to that all-time high, and maybe it gets to it. And then instead, what we see is a rollover while people buy other investments. And a back test of this previous resistance zone that had occurred on a long time frame. And then we launch. And then our launch measured move could be a lot higher. Like it could be something like that because we're looking at this weird little head and shoulder or inverse head and shoulders. And so if this is the breakout area for that, again, I could see something like that where it goes up even higher. But I do think it's running out of steam. And I think things like Tesla and Bitcoin are just so much better investments right now. SoFi, maybe. Sure. Why not? Now, SoFi has been a disappointing thing for a lot of people for a long time. We got this downward trend that started in November of 2021. And really, the high is well before that, right? This thing has been down for 1,300 plus days, 1,316 days since its all-time high. It's just been devastated. But I do think that we're slowly, in the weeks ahead, this is the weekly time frame, we found support on the 100. It looks like we're going up a little bit in pre-market. I still think we're going to try and get above the 740 range and then get up to the .618. And once we get above the .618 at that $8 level, I've been saying this for a while, and turn that into support again, it's just game on for SoFi. I think that's the most likely path. I don't have a horse in the race right now because I've only got like a share. I might have more. No, I take that back. I do have other accounts that have SoFi, but it's such an inconsequential amount. It's less than 1%. And it's just because I've been looking at other asymmetric bets. Now, will I buy some SoFi if my other asymmetric bets do really well and the economy looks like it's recovering? Hell yeah. It's down 74%. If it doesn't launch and my other things really take off, I will add to SoFi. Silas says, is there any small, medium, emergent AI software company that is specialized other than Palantir, Upstart? I can't even see the ticker on the other one. Hardly are worthy. Yeah, Upstart is not worthy. I would say Palantir is the best, and then it's not exactly a startup, but Tesla is going to be the most dominating AI company in the world, and I think its ability to compound growth year over year is much higher than anybody is anticipating right now. Or I should say most are anticipating. I'm fucking anticipating it. I'm going to jump off of SoFi. I'm going to jump over to Hood. So again, Hood looking good. Looking good in the Hood. And since we're talking so much about these now, I might go a little lighter in the market recap. I might just say like, oh, hey, it did the thing we were saying it was going to do, and here's what I think's happening next. I might roll through these really quickly because I don't want to be repetitive. I've been saying this for a while. This was a huge flush out on Hood. It was a great opportunity to buy calls. I did that. And it's getting ready to launch and go up 54%. I plan on making a lot of money when that happens. I might divert out of some of the calls. Yesterday, I made 14% on these calls when Hood was up just a little. I mean, it was up a decent amount, but 14% ain't bad. And I can do a 3 to 4x super easy, I think, on these. Silas, is there? No, Silas, yes, Tesla is the best company. It's so undervalued, dude. It's so great. Lowe's 94, JD Vance, early seed investor in Anduril. Yeah, he talked about that a little bit yesterday, too. Again, that all-in-one podcast with JD Vance, guys, it just shows you how good. When you look at Vivek, when you look at JD Vance, when you look at Robert F. Kennedy, I forget his the VP's name. Do you guys remember Robert F. Kennedy's VP's name? She's brilliant. She's so fucking great too. I love her. She's so empathetic, and you can tell how real she is, just like Robert F. Kennedy, just like JD Vance. If there's anybody who seems a little more phony, it's probably Vivek. He's very like politician-y, but his words are brilliant. His thoughts are brilliant, and I believe he's very much a real person, but he just looks a little phonier. But all these people are great. Balaji's great. The team that Trump has with him is just amazing. So much better than his first term. I'm very excited to see what these guys can do together. But yeah, Hood, expect a 54% increase, and I think that could happen. I think this will happen before the end of the year pretty easily. Pretty easily. So I'm very excited about Hood. And again, there's that, oh yeah, I got to say this too about Hood. So with Hood, we have some other fun news. Do I have it in here? I should. Yeah, there we go. So Hood, 1016, a legend begins, right? This is exciting, guys. I don't know what they're doing, but when Vlad says legendary, I get excited. Vlad is brilliant. Vlad is brilliant. I remember so many people a year and a half ago telling me how stupid I was for investing in Robinhood. And I've done really well. I think I've done 500% plus gains. You guys, some of you guys were with me, so you got them too. But I've done really well off of Hood, and I look forward to having that second, surge up, trying to get 1,000% off of Hood between now and the beginning of next year. I think that would be fun. I haven't got my gold card. What the fuck is that about? I should have a gold card. I got to check on that. Vlad, if you're listening, he's not. Where's my gold card at? I should talk to Amit. I should get on his channel and have a chat. But yeah, so very excited about Hood. All right, let's quickly jump over to some other stuff. Then I'll get to your guys' too. If there are any news events happening this morning too that we need to talk about, guys, let me know. Maytag, Tesla's awesome. They designed a fantastic car that's so much more advanced than anything else out there. After getting my daughter a Model 3, I realized my car is a Model T and I need one. Hey, man, I've still got a couple of those referrals out there. So when you're ready to get yourself your own, just remember, if you get a Cybertruck, there will be people that will coal roll you and give you the middle finger. And they differ. It seems like from the right, people are more hateful. But I have also had people on the left that very much hate me because I'm driving an Elon Musk truck. So just be ready for the hate. But I love it so much. It's my favorite vehicle ever. So fuck those guys. But if you buy one, be ready for that. C-List, Vlad the Impaler is not to be messed with. You know it, brother. Historically, a very good historical point. Alex Garcia, I just received my Robinhood Gold card this past week. Oh, so maybe I just should check. Maybe it's still coming in. See, I'm supposed to get one. Did you get one off of referrals, Alex? Is that what happened? Lowe's 94, could Enphase start going up with lowering of interest rates, 10%? I don't know, dude. Let's actually look at Enphase. I saw Enphase getting pretty beat up. But would it be a play? See, I don't know enough. I worry. I've said this for a while. So should an Enphase bounce? Totally, right? They should do good. But Europe is hurting. Europe is not in good shape. They've got a lot of sales in Europe. And here's the thing, they should bounce. I know some of my people from, what is that podcast? It had Amit in it, and then it's got my other boys in it. Fuck, I've watched their names totally escape me for some retarded reason right now. But anyway, so they loved Enphase, and they would talk about it all the time. And this does look up like a pattern that wants to break higher. Here's my worry. My worry is that some of the latest gen Powerwalls from Tesla don't need some of the equipment these guys offer. And so my worry is like again, I think this thing probably will launch. I think it probably will launch, but maybe it doesn't because the fundamentals aren't going to be great for the company. I don't know. But this chart looks like Max Payne right now. And I'll quickly just glance over towards visual stocks real quick here. What's going on with Chorus? There's a tick. Chorus Q2 2024 results are here. For an immediate look, please upgrade your members. Oh, that's cool, man. Mine's actually, oh, wow. He's got a gold level. You're getting so fancy now, Alejandro. Do I have to upgrade my shit now? Is that what you're telling me, bro? Do I need to be a gold member? I love that, though. This dude provides such amazing value. Let's look at Enphase, though. So what I don't love is, again, their inverter ship just plummeted off the face of the earth, and their revenue went with it. And if the new Powerwalls don't need inverters, and they've just cut them out of the business, what does this mean for these guys? And so again, will this get better? Will this get better with rates going down? It could. I don't know fundamentally enough about the company to be able to tell you that it will, though. So I'm a little hesitant, but if you guys have good fundamental reasons why this thing's going to bounce, throw them out there. The forward P is not high. 21.88 is not high. It could go higher. Yeah, referrals. Check your emails. You should have received okay, so maybe that's what happened. I need to get on that. I'm just so lazy, and I don't really need another card, but I want a gold one. I just want one that's physically gold. Are you talking about, Alex? Did you get the? Yeah, you got the referral one. So you got the gold card. Plank it on that, like watch it fall on the counter and have it go. You got one of those because that's what I'm supposed to have. I got all the referrals for it, I believe. C-list. France has 360 knife attacks a year linked to terrorism. The Daily is so sad. I don't know how we got on that conversation. But yeah, it is sad. Yeah, Europe has a lot of problems, man. A lot of problems. But I think economically is what I was referring to. And again, generation and storage shipped. So I don't know. I don't know how much the inverters make up of the revenue streams for Enphase. But if they make up a lot, I'm worried about it. Square. Let's jump over to Square. Square again. This looks like a bouncer, guys. It's not yet though. It's still down here just grinding. I would love it if Square sucked for a while and then I was able to buy into a position. I don't know if I'll do calls, but maybe I like DCA into something like this. Also, TMF. I need to add this to my list. I want to jump over to bonds real quick and see how TLT and TMF are doing, guys. Because we covered bonds. I need to probably add that to my punch board, my stream deck over here. So again, TLT didn't jump a lot, right? So I kind of think this is what's happening. I'm not interested in buying TMF right away, but if all these other investments do stupid well, I'll probably start to DCA into to other investments that I like the SoFis, the Squares, just with stock. And then buying stock of the things I love, like Tesla. I don't actually own a lot of stock in Tesla. It's like a $900,000 in calls, but no, I need to get more stock. So I'll probably be making that a priority too. And again, Palantir, slowly dial into that, but as high as the valuation is, I'll probably do that slowly. But I'd get into TLT, and then TMF will be a multiplier of that. I'll get, if TLT trades sideways, like in this range for a while, and I've made a shit ton of money, then I'll think about buying TMF and applying a multiplier to the upside. But right now, I'm not interested in it. Because again, that multiplier will give you theta decay too. And maybe it's good just to go into it. I don't know. Again, this hasn't done bad. One could argue that it still might be worth it just to go into TMF. I got to think more about that though. I got to clean this up too because there's some data in here, data points. Oh, wow. I got to fix all this. This got all fucked up. I'll do that later. Anyway, so yeah, I'll have to clean up that chart. But that's kind of the plan going forward. ARKG, how are we doing? How are we doing genomics? Oh, and somebody said CRISPR. We should do that right after this. But again, I like ARKG. I like ARKG for the asymmetric opportunity. Is it going to give me all the monies I expect for my 2026 calls? I believe so. Sela said Europe is so. Sorry. Alex said I don't need one either. It's just cool to have. It's so heavy. That I love that, right? And then it's like, what is it? 14 karat? I think it's 14. I don't think it's 24 karat, right? It's 14. But either way, that's pretty cool. Silas, Europe doing badly. Social problems on the core economic population eventually cause widespread pessimism. Oh, and my biggest worry is Germany. I think Germany is in a manufacturing collapse and has been for a while, but it's accelerating. And I think the stuff that we're going to do to help us here could actually hurt them a little bit more unless we give them a lot of waivers and bias versus what we're going to do with China. But I think Germany is between a rock and a hard place. And it's sad because Germany is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. It's really cool. And the beer gardens, the beer gardens guides, they're so cool. Just being able, you hear all these clanking of beers and people eating food and eating like these, they have all the bratwurst sausage things, like, Germany is such a trip. And if you haven't been to Munich for Oktoberfest, seeing millions of people get trashed all at the same time off a beer is kind of entertaining. The Chinese tourists, I felt bad for one of them. This little Chinese dude just puking all over the place. And the cute girls that were with him were just assholes. They were like kicking him and hitting him on his back so he puked quicker so they could go to another thing and hang out. The guy they put him on this hill where all the drunks were, and the medical staff examined them to make sure that he wasn't dying. And I think they just left his little ass. Very sad. But a fun place. It's like the biggest fair carnival you've ever seen in your life, but it's all beer. And these women that are like $1.20 carrying like 30 steins is remarkable. It's insane. Very cool experience. But yeah, dude, I felt so bad for him. I'm like, leave him fucking alone. But they couldn't, they didn't understand what I was saying anyway. But I felt bad for him. The total bitches he was with, man. I don't know if he was just rich and paid for it. Anyway, back to ARKG. I expect this to do really well. Again, if we turn risk on, like I think we're going to, and that is the requirement, right? We are looking at 1,340 days from the all-time high and down 78% from it. The ability for this to rebound and it get very quickly just to the 35 range, I think is super high, and that's a 41% move. That's a decent return right there. But I also think that we could very quickly, maybe even beginning like first quarter of the year or second quarter, we could see this thing already up to 50, in my opinion, and that's a doubling, and I get a massive return on that if that happens and it does well. Not as good as if it would have happened over here, but it's still really great. All right, yeah, let's do that. So we'll go to CRISPR. I think it was CRISPR that you wanted to do. TRSP, is that it? Yeah, okay. Let me see here. What about TNA? Yeah, we could look at TNA. I'll do that in a second. Let me look at CRISPR. We'll get back over. So again here, for CRISPR, very beat up stock. 167% to get to the .618. Now, is it going to do that? These guys still don't make money. This is why I like ARKG so much better, because it's a group culmination of a bunch of different companies, and 80% of them can fail, and it would still go up a ton. So, yeah, dude, those Seedless, no shit. Those beer mugs alone, they're like 3 pounds without the beer. It's insane. It's insane. I was wearing is it Lederhosen? I was wearing my Lederhosen outfit, my little hat. It was a good time, man. That was definitely something I don't regret. And then we went to Paris like the next week. That was beautiful too. But again, it's sad. Like, it's probably much worse now. There's still probably parts of beauty, but between all the protesting and the ugliness and just like the illegal immigration, I don't think even back then, you could see it weathering and getting uglier. And I can't imagine what it's like now. That was several years ago. All right. So yeah, CRISPR. So the big problem I have is the lack of revenue, right? And so I don't want one company related risk personally. I would rather have a multitude where 80% of them can fail. And people give Cathie Wood a bunch of shit. I've got a Cathie Wood shirt with her face on it, actually. How creepy is that? But I love her. I think she's great. The problem I have is that not all of her picks are great. She's not always great at picking stocks, but she can see a lot of vision in the future. She could see Bitcoin. She could see Tesla. She could see companies that are going to be, I think she was even talking about Palantir. So she can see companies that are going to do well, but you got to really weigh it for yourself on whether or not they're going to be great. Because she can be wrong. And again, here's what I don't like about CRISPR, guys. It's all this. Now, their estimates, I think, are better. Last time we looked at this, I think they have No, they're not. They fucking suck. I wouldn't own this straight out. I just wouldn't, guys. There's no revenue here. The company is burning away. They're diluting shareholders at an ever-increasing path. And don't get me wrong, with AI and everything else, they might turn this company around. But why take this individual risk when you could buy ARKG and get 30 or 40 companies that are all a part of the portfolio, and if one or two of them do well, you make a bunch of money? I care about that. That's my investment thesis, not this individual risk. Let's look at TNA. You want to see TNA? So TNA is really just the small cap one, right, guys? So, I don't have it on here? What the fuck? Are you serious? Am I tripping? I don't have TNA. Huh. That's weird. Could have swore I did. All right, let me go in here. Put it in here. Oh, not TBA. TBA is something else. That's on a TV show. Oh, I had it on crypto. I probably, I don't know. That shouldn't have. Here, we'll just save it here. So again, this thing gives you a dividend. It is a 3x small cap play. It's probably been brutalized here recently. But this could do a good job to the upside. I would not apply more leverage to this. I would not do calls on something like this personally. I just wouldn't do it. But you can see, though, if we go back and we look at the weekly here, you can see how badly. And so when I look at the Russell, the Russell 2000, the RUT, it's essentially this same kind of thing, right? Except this one's a multiplier to it. So you can get this. And again, I think this could do good. If you believe Tom Lee's thesis, you could get 150% gains. But as you guys know, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is way, way better than that. And I'll draw this chart out more later. But I just wanted to get it on here now. I grew up in Germany, outside of Munich, for 10 years. Oh, dude, that's cool. Munich was beautiful. I love just all the bikes. I love. It's weird going to being at a beer garden and having a bunch of naked people sitting in a park. As long as they're good looking women, it's perfectly fine with me. But I love just how like open the place is and kind of cool. I like that. That's the kind of liberal part I like. I don't mind all of that. It's really laid out well. It's like a walking, biking community. I think it's healthy for people. I think they got better food. I can't drink beer anymore because I fucked up my stomach too much. But if you like beer, it's such a beautiful place. But it's just sad because I feel like the country outside of like that perspective and so much solar and renewable, just really cool stuff. But I feel like they're digressing in a lot of ways financially and economically, and it's going to destroy them. And it makes me sad because I loved it. John Mahoney, afternoon chaps. Jesse, is there potential for MSTR to get S&P and QQQ inclusion this bull run? And is this likely in your opinion? I think they could. They're going to get huge. Is it likely? I don't know. But I don't think it matters because I think you can make 400, 500, maybe even 600% off of MicroStrategy this year. And if you did something like that, I don't remember if it's MSTX or whatever, that multiplier, you can get a multiplier to that. So, with theta decay, of course, time-based decay. So I don't know. I don't think it matters, but I think it could. Sealess, the beer mugs. We said that. Sealess, as long as you're not trying to buy Kathy Wood's bath water. Yeah, that would be creepy. That reminds me. Actually, Japan. There were vending machines that would sell like. And again, these are not like in the nicest parts of Japan. I don't know if they do it anymore, but there were vending machines that would sell like young girls' panties out of the vending machine. There's just some things that shouldn't be in a vending machine, and nobody should ever buy. And they were like used ones, I think, is the premise behind it. I don't know. I haven't been to Japan. This is my wife telling me about it. We plan on going here probably in the next few years, but that's some weird shit, I gotta say. That's some super weird shit. All right, what else do we have, guys, for news-related events? Is there anything else we need to talk about? I'm going to jump over here and look at Grok and see what Grok has to say, see if there's anything we need to be covering. Let me just refresh here. If you guys don't pay for premium versions, Grok is so great, guys. Deutsche Bank upgrades Tesla to a buy. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's see how Tesla's doing off of that news. Up 3% today, guys. So I called it. We're going up. We're going to test that 200 again. We're going to get near that 233 range. I might sell a percent of my calls again if you guys don't hate me for it. Just to buy some other things. I think that's the game plan. But I like this upgrade. I like it. I'm just gonna let's see which one of these looks good. That looks good. Nice and clear. Let's get that out there. Sorry, I gotta tell people. The people gotta know. The people gotta know. I guess I'll bookmark it later. Oh, there we go. All right. I like to keep track of my bookmarks because it's stuff we can go over. Maybe I'll go over some of that too, but I want to see what other I want to see what other real-time headlines we got going on. Melania Trump demands inquiry into assassination attempt. Fair. EU reduces tariffs on Tesla EVs from China. Oh my God, guys. What the fuck? Japan is in a league of their own. Dude, Japan is such a cool place. It's so different from so many other parts of the world. Just the level of crime is so low. It's just there's so much. Japan is a wild place. All right, so real quickly, I didn't want this whole diatribe. I need to see if I can just we got to get this out there though. This is great. Let's see. Yeah, no, we'll go with that. We'll go in this. Oh no, Walter Bloomberg. We'll go with him. He's a good dude. He doesn't have an actual link though. We're going CNN Wire. Again, so much good stuff, guys. Holy crap. See, this is the thing. People get down on companies and they don't think about what's coming. They don't focus on the fact that markets are forward-looking and that good things are going to come for the company and that markets are going to aggressively jump on those good things. Trump re-election could surge Bitcoin. No shit. Bank of America. Oh, yeah, that's the $50 price target. We saw that. So the EU reduced tariffs on Tesla and Chinese EVs. That's insane. They're going to just destroy Germany even more. Poor BMW. And so many other car makers that are in Germany. They are fucked. That's going to suck for them. But we got Deutsche Bank upgrading Tesla to a buy. We got the EU reducing tariffs on Tesla. And we've got record-breaking Tesla China quarterly sales. And we've got What else was there? Was that it? Those three things? Those three things? Maybe that was it? I don't know. Ooh, I should check this out too. This is amazing. Japan has an appetite for blank and novelty. I can't see. I hate it when the first comment's on here because it just puts like that little heart thing. And then I can't fucking see the comment. I wish they would make that a little easier for me. I'm just going to post this real quick and then we'll see. Is there anything else that you guys are seeing out there that we need to know about? And if you guys don't have Grok is so fucking brilliant. So brilliant. That's fucking great. I'll try not to talk about these same news events. I might glance over them in this afternoon's market recap, but that'll be it. But yeah, this is wonderful. Let's see what else we got in the feed. Try and go past the political stuff. I'm gonna get tired. Oh, hey, Trueflation asked me to come on their spaces. Do you guys think I should do that? I won't show my messages because I think that's kind of rude, but they seem to want me to come on and talk about 1.5% inflation. I am going to post this because I do think this is probably the real inflation rate right now. I think this is accurate. But I do think that the level of money printing that we're going to do in the future will probably make it to where this isn't, where disinflation or deflation is not a major concern in the future. But yeah, should I go on with those guys? Should I start spending time with them? I don't know. This is more craziness. Fucking more gang members, Venezuelan gang members in Texas too, that Tren de Aragua. What does that even mean? It's like is Tren 3? I don't know. You guys let me know. Let's see here. We'll see if there's anything else going on in news-related events. Bank of America raises. We already know that. Mini sold Palantir to jump into other stocks. Okay, Arnie, but I'm still kicking ass, bro. I still made 600% that year, so whatever, bro. Plus, I love Arnie, so I won't block him. All right, let's see what else we got. Anything interesting? Anything interesting? Just a bunch of people assaulting people. Don't care about that. I don't know. I don't think there's much else on here. A lot of political bullshit. Let's check one more time with Grok. I think we might. Tren is train. Train of Aguara. Oh, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. I know they have a lot of train-related tattoos along with some other stuff. So that would make sense that would be the word. Thank you, Nana Yabis. Jesse, can you do a dive into the Russell and how it correlates with Bitcoin? There is a crypto analyst called Blockchain Backer, great chartist. His thesis is IWM needs to expand for Bitcoin to expand. Well, no, I think, yeah, so I'll just say this. Yes, I agree. That's probably true. But that expansion is just global liquidity. And I do agree with him. Global liquidity is going up, but we can see that too. And I do need to get, I should do that. Let me see. I've got a global liquidity that's got some factors in it. I have one from Lynn Alden. Oh yeah, here's Lynn Alden's formula. So global liquidity has been expanding, but it had periods where it slowed down. This is on the monthly. So you can see why we would have had a contraction in September, but look at the expansion that we had in August. It's huge. And so I would still argue that global liquidity is already happening. It can happen with a delay sometimes from the underlying movement. My buddy, Chicken Genius, talks about that. What's his real name? Does anybody know? He's chatted me up a few times. He's a good dude. He was talking about leaving the investment social media game to me and said that he was looking for somebody to replace him. I was like, well, give me all your followers. I'll take them. He didn't do it, but that would have been cool. So I either didn't make the cut or he changed his mind. I think he's still posted shit though. C-list, but in 2 years, Germany may be a tariff on Chinese. I don't know. They're not going to survive. They had such a huge auto business. They were the leaders of the world for auto for decades and decades and decades. And now between China and the United States with Tesla, they're fucked. They're just done. And that's super sad. I feel bad for them, man. I feel bad for them. But yeah, if you guys look here, global liquidity expansion, can you see why after the pandemic markets went up? Can you see? Does anybody have any questions on why markets went up after the pandemic? Do you guys have questions? Is this not clear enough? And again, had a nice little bounce end of 2022 into 2023. That helped drive markets higher for the first part of 2023, for the first 6 months, just from this impulse and people thinking that it was getting ready to go higher. But then it didn't, And so the markets fell in the latter part of 2023. But again, here since 2023, we've seen this expand. And we did, I would argue, in 2024, we've definitely seen Bitcoin go up, right? If we go back here from the beginning of 2024 into 2023, look at this. Look at how much it went up. We're still right now. So we made that wicked move, right? It's just that global liquidity didn't continue to expand. And since it didn't continue to expand, we had an impulse of 170%. We're still up 113%. I don't want to hear. I hate listening to people bitch about stupid fucking comments about how like, oh, the Bitcoin isn't doing good. It's not doing good, guys. It's so sad. It's just like, dude, global liquidity went up a little bit, and Bitcoin went up a shit ton. So be happy, and it's getting ready to drive higher. Again, this election cycle, Lynn Alden, I like her. She's great. And yeah, she's wonderful. And I do agree with her. I think I don't agree with her on like a super commodity, like a commodity super cycle. I don't think I agree with her on that. But her book, Unbroken Money, sitting behind me over here, is a really good one. And I do agree with her on a ton of stuff. And I do agree that global liquidity is going to expand and that markets are going to melt up. I think that's something that's going to happen too. Kind of that same thing that Henrik and a bunch of other people say, even though I don't know if they totally know why they say it. He does have a lot of followers, so that must mean something. Bitcoin went down a little bit, 56.8. Let's go back to Tesla again. How is broader market? I'm actually going to do this. I want to go look at the broader market on, look at the performance and see how we're doing today, since we're about 15 minutes into the cycle. So again, Tesla crushing it. Best performance. Amazon coming in, or I'm sorry, Microsoft coming in too. Oracle, woo, did we had earnings or something? 12.77%. What the shit is going on with Oracle? Holy, that's a fucking breakout, isn't it? It just looks like a really clean breakout. Was it earnings? Is there news? B of A raises target to 177 or 175 from 155. That probably helped. Oracle is maintained to buy. Oracle is maintained at outperform. Oracle shares rise pre-market, multiple analysts. So that it was probably that 175 price target. So that's beautiful though. That's really good stuff. That's a good looking market, guys. Let's see what else are we seeing here though in stocks. Nothing too crazy otherwise. It doesn't look like any major moves. What's this down here? Just DoorDash? 1.52. Yeah, nothing crazy. So again, outside of like an Oracle, as far as big caps go, Tesla's right up there today. We love that. Not a big economic data day. I think it's going to continue to go higher. Again, tomorrow's a big day, guys. So tonight we'll have, if you guys haven't already, make sure you watch the market recap at 3 and then also at 7:30 and maybe even 7. I might start earlier. Do you guys think I should start an hour before the debate, or do you think I should start a half an hour? I want to go over some polling related data, maybe listen to some commentary. Then it's probably going to be a half an hour. So 7:30 Central Time, we'll have the debate tonight. That's going to be huge, I think. Have potential to be huge if we see like a blowout from Trump or a blowout from Kamala. God, I hope that doesn't fucking happen for America's sake. But again, I think tomorrow, not much with the mortgage-related data. We might continue to see it trend higher, but the core inflation and CPI data is going to be the big ticket tomorrow. And then, as usual, the Thursday show will be all about jobs, PPI data. And we do have the WASD report. I might try and read through that. I need to get better at that. But again, tomorrow in Fed balance sheet might be interesting. I doubt it. Maybe though. Maybe they'll end up indicating that they're slowing down on the sell-off of their balance sheet or stopping. Well, they won't do that tomorrow. They'll probably do that on next week. And then Friday will be all of export-import and then Michigan data, and that's about it. So not too crazy of a week. Pretty much the standard stuff. Are there any tickers that I missed that you guys want to cover real quick? I might have went through some. Kenny says Chicken Genius is kin, right? You would prefer that, wouldn't you, Kenny? No, I'm kidding. Maybe. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I should probably know that since he's chatting me up. And it's been a while since we talked. I think that was like 9 months ago. Lowe's 94. Funny, Tesla gets 295 target and isn't up 12% like Oracle. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. It's going to get there. It's going to get there. Other analysts will chase, and then we've got the momentum heading into 1010. So we got a month. I think this next month we're going to see some screaming higher. I think here's the thing. Even if we don't see Tesla scream higher, you know what it's going to turn into? It'll turn into the buy the news event, I think, if there's not enough hype going into it beforehand. So I think either way we're getting into the 290s. That's what I'm shooting for, and I'm very excited to see. And I got a feeling Tesla's going to skyrocket today. I got a feeling Tesla's going to do real good. At least my calls. Again, around 900,000 in calls, but I'm hoping that's over 1 million before the end of the day. Can you check Google, please? Yes, sir, I can. Let me go over here. I never look at Google with Goog. Should I look at Google with Goog or should? Oh no, it's right. It does say, it says Goog, but it's Google. I can't remember which one the parent company is. I think it's this one. Wow, Google's still underperforming big time, aren't they? I don't have a lot of hope for Google. I've said this for a while. I don't have a lot of hope for Google. Ask me why. Okay, I'll tell you. So here's the problem I have with Google. You got the government going after them. That kind of sucks. You have for wanting to, but again, we do have previous support here. If we go out on the weekly time frame, we got that. But I seriously think that Google could still kind of just fall apart as a company. I don't think it has to bounce here. We're on the daily, we're already under the 50, the 100, and the 200 with a pretty steep, precipitous drop. Now, we do have support that we're finding on the daily. I don't think you're going to make a lot of money off of Google anytime soon. I think it's going to be kind of a dead stock. If it doesn't plummet, I think it could just fucking fall off the face of the earth. Yeah, I'll update this chart more in the future. But I don't have a lot of positivity to say about Google right now because again, I don't think with all these other AI plays, I don't even go to Google search hardly at all anymore, guys. I just use Grok. I use Grok to make my thumbnails, dude. I can literally walk over here and be like, draw me a thumbnail for tonight's presidential debate and include the words Kamala sucks. I've never tried derogatory stuff. Maybe it'll do it, maybe it won't. But I can have this thing draw me thumbnails. Why the fuck would I ever go to Google anymore? Not the most accurate version of Kamala. But like again, I did that with my one tonight. Like, why would I ever use Google? So again, and don't get me wrong, YouTube exists, right? But X is going into that. I just see Google as a flatline dead stock. I don't think you can really short it. I don't think you can really go long it or shouldn't. I just don't think it's going to work out for anybody. It seems like since I said Kamala sucks, it doesn't want to give an exact representation of her face. Normally it's okay, decent with her face. But yeah, so I can get Grok to do anything. Why would I use Google anymore? Why should anybody use Google? Looks like I'm up $100,000 today. That ain't bad. Does a really good job. Definitely Grok likes Trump. I can't wait to see Grok 3, guys. I just cannot wait to see it. It's going to be so fucking stellar. My Cypher's down 40%, but should I convert half to B? I'll make the argument real quickly on BITF, guys. And I think I'll do it again with Sebastian Ski's work because he did it so well. So let's look at BITF. Let me scroll down and I'll zoom in a little bit with this. But yeah, what you do, dude, is totally up to you. It's totally up to you. I do think that all of these stocks can do well because most people are retarded when it comes to Bitcoin miners and they'll just buy fucking anything. But here's my thesis on why I think Cypher is a much better company and why I came to that conclusion last week. So Bitfarms is totaling 1,100. They're making $14 million in revenue. And if we look down here, they got a pretty decent asset ratio, and they're looking to expand to 20 exahash. So they're going to double their exahash. So they'll be a decent sized miner, right? Now let's go to Cypher instead. Let's look at Cypher. All right, so that was them. Let's go to Cypher right here, okay? So here's the problem I have with Cypher. Cypher has more Bitcoin of a hodl. I like that. Their expansion plans are less. Their market cap is $950 million, whereas Bitfarms is 861. So you got a multiplier just with a market cap, and they've got 14 million in revenue. And their efficiency rating or their amount of Bitcoin per exahash is 20.6. Cypher is 16.6. That kind of sucks. And they only mined 135. Their revenue's 8 million. And again, just like everything is much worse, and Bitfarms has a lower market cap. And again, Cypher, even their cash position versus debt, they've got 300 million versus 36 in debt. And if we go back over here to Bitfarms, I think they might be beating Bitfarms slightly on that. Yeah, slightly, but that doesn't matter. And the expansion plans for Bitfarms are going to put them in a much better, more efficient rate. Cypher is only going to 13 from 9,100. So I just don't. Cypher has turned into the group that I don't love as much. And again, they're selling Bitcoin. If we look over here, they're having to sell Bitcoin at an ever increasing pace, which is limiting their stack. Whereas if I go over here to Bitfarms stack is still growing. They're selling Bitcoin, but they're not doing it at an ever increasing pace, and so they're building their stack. There's just a lot of reasons why I like Bitfarms better and why you guys talked me into it. I don't remember who it was. Might have been Sealess. I don't know, but somebody talked me into it. Hey, Rumi, thank you for joining, man. Bought quite a bit of dollars yesterday buying CLSK after watching your Sunday crypto stream. Cheers. Yeah, I think it's a great company. I think it's going to be the Bitcoin, the biggest, if not tied kind of with Mara here soon on hash rate. And it could be second best for total stack of Bitcoin. And Mara's number one, but they're double the market cap, right? Close to that. Lowe's 94. Could Department of Justice be a place or Donald J. Trump shit? I wouldn't do that. I mean, could it be? Yeah. I don't. It's just like it's the same reason I don't like GME. I just don't touch shit. And Donald Trump's Truth Social is shit. You know how I know it's shit? He's posting on X. That's how I know it's shit. And you have Rumble for videos. You have Truth Social for the far right. But why do you need Truth Social when you have X? No, that's not it. Or you're talking about what is his ticker? This isn't it. What is his ticker? Let me look it up. I don't even know. What's it under? Let me see. Truth Social. Is it DJ? It's like close, right? But it's not. Oh yeah. It's the same ticker, but it's not an indice. Okay, I'll just jump into that. So could this be a play? Maybe, but I think it's such a horrible investment. There's no money to be made here, and he's on X. That's my take. This looks like a shitty stock. What is it down right now from its high? And I've told people to stay away from this garbage, just like I told them to stay away from Bed Bath & Beyond. Down 90% from its all-time high. But I don't think this one ever has to go higher. It's just not a real thing. That's my take on that, dude. Ballad, thanks, Jesse. Cypher Insider owner sold millions yesterday. Oh, or was that just me? No, I'm kidding. I did sell $100,000 worth. But yeah, if an insider is selling too, I don't love that at all. Especially at this level. This is the wrong level to do it. You should have done it at the beginning of the year. Then it would have been like, oh, I get it. Why the fuck would you do it now? That's just stupid. So I don't understand that at all. Hey guys, if you're here, hit the like, help support the channel. Again, it's all appreciated. I do think I'm done unless there's any other major news. It looks like Tesla's probably going to have a good day today, guys. Lots of good stuff for Tesla. Good stuff for, oh yeah, look at this, 4%. 4%. We're going to make a bunch of money off of Tesla today, guys. And I also think that there's other companies we're going to make money off of. Oh, you know what I should do? Let me do this. I need to do this more. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I need to go to my watch list and pull it up in my pie here, sort it by change. This is a lot of the stuff I own and follow. So far today, really it is Tesla that's outperforming everything else. Injective, Optimism, those are some of my shit coins. I watch BABA. I don't like BABA in any way, and I wouldn't buy it. You're just going to get fucked. China's just devastated right now, and there's no going back. But yeah, there's a few that I watch in here. Really, the best performing assets are going to be, it's going to be Tesla, it looks like. And could other things creep up throughout the day? Maybe. All right, that's all I got for today, guys. I think that's it. I think if you guys want to see me later, jump into the market recap. And again, when I figure out, I'll try and figure out all I can with Alejandra this week about getting visual stocks to look even better. I need to check out that gold membership too and see what that entails. I need to see, I don't even understand if he changed his pricing tier, so I want to figure that out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the market recap, and then I'll see you tonight at 7:30 if you guys want to see a debate. It should be brilliant. Super excited about it. But yeah, please hit the like, comment afterwards too. It helps if you guys do that kind of stuff. And I really appreciate you guys. I'm probably going to go ahead and close out here. I'll give you guys some music for the people that like it. This is going to be my theme for a while. Again, I got funny ones too, but I really believe that people need to understand Bitcoin. And so I'll probably be closing out a few of my jam sessions with this. I'll try not to do the same thing between the market recap and the open, though. All right, love you guys. Peace out. Stay out of trouble. I'll try. You do the same. Bye.
With time, a seed becomes a tree, sheltering us. With time, a skill becomes a talent, empowering us. With time, a technology becomes a tool, enhancing us. By nature, time gives value to almost everything, yet the very thing our society gives value to, our money, loses value over time. This paradox warps our reality by defying the laws of nature, and it stems from the belief that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow, meaning money must always lose value. We built our reality off of this model. Time value of money, we call it, but in reality, this is just dogma. Since we can keep making more of it, we end up destroying our own purchasing power. So we put it in stocks, put it in bonds, put it in land, put it in funds, put it in crypto, put it in gold. But we are not oracles, so what do we know? We know that it's hard to get by. We know some people may never retire. Is time value of money a lie since it discounts the monetary value of our time? If time is money, how are they moving in different directions? We're working longer for less, we end up just giving away our freedom. Give up liberty for policies, give up our agency to the authorities. Because when our foundation is built on complexity, we simplify humans by giving up our humanity. Reality check, we've strayed too far from the truth. The world economy's a wreck when 1 + 1 no longer equals to 2. And if life's created from the truth, along the way something got screwed, and we let our own dogma subjectify value. We divorce action from consequence. We defy the law of physics when we make scarcity infinite. We disregard the language of mathematics. So our systems are built in a fallacy. Our society's based on a fantasy. In the absence of truth, we're living in the shadows of our own reality. And that's the root problem. Man-made rules can be broken. As our trust crumbles, so does the progress of our civilization. But one thing remains constant: no one can cheat nature. So why not use it to architect a stronger base layer? The most beautiful buildings engineered based on these consequences. Natural law drives rigor needed to build something enduring and compromising on principles that accounts for the flaws. Because when our lives are at stake, the gravity of truth cannot be ignored. So if our monetary systems were designed like structures, it would embody energy and matter, so the money itself matters. An unbreakable limit enforced by costliness of creation ensures the structure holds value for many generations. A rule-based system governed by maths builds a transparent ecosystem that can self-error correct. With no one in charge, no words are taken as fact. Only work from computation can actualize truth of timestamps, and like water flowing off a cliff down the path of gravity, computational energy makes time flow one way only. It is this irreversibility which gives value to our money by upholding consensus and scarcity to create one shared reality. Now the map is the territory. Now we're working with high fidelity. Now money is truthfully time and energy bound by finality. Now we have the ability to manifest each of our dreams and build a world that is much more reflective of all of our needs. And that's the purpose of money. Merely a tool to shape our reality, merely a function to harness and express individuality. It's just a way to live freely, just a means for possibility. Because when we build on integrity, we enhance the beauty of humanity. The most beautiful societies are built from diversity of our thoughts that come to life when we're empowered individually. Because when our money tomorrow is worth more than today, we shift from predicting to creating the future ourselves. And when our money grows in value, we grow thoughtful in how we use it. Natural law drives rigor needed to fund something enduring, something truly worth it, something that pushes the sky's limit, something only possible when our real value and consequence exist in boundless virtual dimensions. Imagine potential creations fueled by monetary life force lasting for many generations. We will venture into new territories and unleash these possibilities once we learn to embrace the truth of our reality.
Reacting to all this volatility. Hey, David, good morning. That's right.
Hey guys. Am I working? What's going on with my screen? All right, looks like we might be live. I'm hoping. Hopefully you guys can see this. If you could say something in chat, that'd be great. I just saw that Vlad Tinev from Robinhood was getting ready to speak, and I thought it might be good just to have an open live share to where you guys can see what he's going to be talking about. So let me go ahead without further ado here. I'm going to go ahead and start playing, and hopefully all this is working.
We've got Vlad Tenev here, the CEO of Robinhood. Good to see you, Vlad. Thanks for sitting down with us.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate the time. I want to talk about the roller coaster that markets have been on lately. How are your clients reacting to all this volatility we've seen in the past month or so?
Well, we have lots of different types of clients. I think one thing people don't realize yet about Robinhood is it's a diversified business. You know, we now have 8 business lines that are 100 million a year or more in revenue. So we have active traders that are more sophisticated. They're using options and taking advantage of our user experience and great pricing on options, and they tend to be active regardless of what's going on.